Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about my Aero Precision M4 carbine build, in particular the Atlas S1 upper. This is what I'm going to talk about in particular is the focus. This is one of 3 different Aero Precision uppers that I have. Each is a different design, and this Atlas S1 upper is my favorite. I'm going to talk about the rest of the equipment in the build, and then I'm going to talk about my target here from my range session. This is my Aero Precision Atlas S1 upper 16-inch barrel with M4E1 lower. I'm going to talk about the rest of the build parts, starting at the back. We have the Magpul stock with the VTAC sling. It's an adjustable stock. It's got the Aero Precision buffer tube kit. We have a Leupold VX Freedom 1.5 to 4 magnification. It has Leupold mount. It has a Radian charging handle. The backup iron sights are Wilson Combat, front and rear. The bolt carrier group is Aero Precision black nitride. The trigger is a Rise Armament RA140. The lower parts kit is from Strike Industries. I prefer this one over the Aero Precision kit because of the ambidextrous safety, and I like the pins here that take apart the upper from the lower better than the basic ones. It's kind of silly, but I think they're cooler. The upper itself features M-lock, and it has QD sling points at the 3, 6, and 9 position. I'm running a Strike Industries muzzle brake, in-force light 400 lumens with the VTAC adjustable sling. That completes the build products, I believe, for everything. Now I'm going to talk about the general accuracy that you can get with this type of build, which I would say is middle of the road. Here's the target for my range session. This target was at 70 feet. The range max distance is 75, but if you set the target out at 75, the cardboard would get stuck on the little rubber thing, so it's best just to leave it at 70 feet. This is reloaded ammo, actually, that I used for this. I used it all up. This is 90 rounds, and as you can see, I have more inside the red than outside the red, which is kind of the goal. So if you've ever been to the fair where they have that game where you got to get all of the red out of the square or the diamond or whatever shape it is and win the big bear or whatever the big prize is, that's essentially the goal that I want to do with this. Now, the scope I use at 1.5 magnification. It's pretty easy because it's a duplex reticle. So with these targets that already have the big lines in them, it's easy to line up the scope with the target. So you're basically just stacking one duplex reticle onto a larger red version of it. So I don't think that many people would have trouble doing very similar results if they took their time with this build. I usually crack off 4 or 5 shots and then set it down. In the indoor range, it's super loud, and a lot of the times if somebody isn't a member or is just a casual person at the range, they kind of, don't know what to expect. But other people that are, range members like I am, they know when they see one of these, if you don't have a can on it and you see the comp on it, it's going to be super loud indoors. So that's the one drawback about using it indoors. It's great to test your accuracy. I do actually have a bipod, a Magpul bipod that I could slap on this that's M-lock compatible, that I could do bench rest shooting with this to even further test the accuracy, because indoors there's no wind, right? So outdoors there's no way I would probably be able to do it as well as this, but take for granted that this was indoors. I was not rushed. I was taking 4 or 5 shots at a time, checking my progress by magnifying the scope up instead of having the target come back. So I did use it at the lowest magnification because I think it's good practice for like acquiring the target, because I usually go in like a diamond pattern or in a clockwise or counterclockwise pattern. I don't always just focus on one and then the other. So I like to go and acquire and see how good I can do. So I think that for the price of this build, I think you can do pretty well with these. Now, let's talk about if we were at outdoors at 100 yards. Obviously, I don't think the results would be this good, but indoors, you can get really good results. So overall accuracy for the price that you pay for one of these Aero Precision builds is highly cost effective. So if you're in the market for a build, don't overlook Aero Precision. They're not the cheapest option, but they're not the most expensive. But they are reliable and they got good build quality, and they have different options in lengths and uppers. And I particularly like this Atlas S1 upper. I think it has the best fit for my hand, personally. They do have other models, but this one works for me the best. What I like in particular about the Atlas S1 upper is the shape and the fact that it doesn't have the full length pick rail. I never use the full length of the pick rail, just like I never use the forward assist. So this one doesn't have a forward assist, just like it doesn't have a full length pick rail. This has a plastic light on it instead of the metal, so this build has a lighter weight theme to it, although the weight savings is pretty minimal, to be honest, but it's just a good thought. I do like the shape a lot because I like to grip around like this. I don't like the vertical foregrip at all. I like to feel the metal in my hand. I don't wear gloves or anything like that. I do use it left-handed, so I do particularly like this upper because I have all this space to move my hand in different placement along with the adjustable stock. So I do usually have the stock fully all the way back, but I have been experimenting pushing it one click forward and then changing my hand placement to see what kind of performance difference and feel I get. Now, I fired 90 rounds through this and it wasn't very hot at all. The gas, because of how much material is taken out of the upper, it doesn't heat up very fast. I think it breathes, if you know what I mean, very well, so it dissipates the heat. And at the range, they just did a big improvement that I noticed that the ventilation system was working a lot better. So previously, I would complain about the gas, but they improved the ventilation system. So indoors, that's one thing with these. Like if they don't have good ventilation, the gas can be kind of annoying. But I didn't notice it this time. I know previously, before they did the upgrades, that the gas would kind of, you'd crack 5 rounds off in a row and you'd see this big gas cloud hanging over your head. Well, the ventilation wasn't very good, but now they fixed that. So these uppers are high quality. I don't think that if you spend another $300, it's going to be any better, to be honest. Their barrels are good. Everything is solid. Made in the USA. They're made in Tacoma, Washington. I think they're in Lakewood now. They moved cities. They have a big new production facility. But this one says Tacoma on mine because I bought it several years ago actually in Tacoma at Bullseye, where I used to be a member. And the guy who's on the Aero Precision webpage, he used to work at that range, Kirk. So small world. He's part of their product line now. He does research and development, I think, with them, and does features on the YouTube for them. So it's cool to see how he's gotten his progress in the gun industry. So it's cool to see, especially with a local small company like this. I think that they've gotten a lot of love from James Reeves too on TFB TV. And so I think that this is a good value brand, and they have different options. Only a few different uppers to choose from, and different lengths and calibers, but it's better than nothing. I do really like this upper the most out of all of them because I do have small hands and it fits my hands the best. And where the upper meets the upper receiver, it doesn't wiggle at all. That wiggling is here and in the stock. So the upper, where it connects to the upper receiver, is solid. And then with the rest of my setup, I have a pretty good piece, I would say, here that I really like to use. I actually have 2 of these uppers. I have a black one that I have a red dot on. So this is my preferred upper. I don't use the full length pick rail, and I think that if you're interested in one that feels really good in your hand and you like to use it like this, where your hand is fully enclosed around the top of the upper, check this one out, the Atlas S1 from Aero Precision.